Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into the world of MrBeast.
Mr. Beast.
From the interview he just did
Oh, yeah.
on this past weekend with Theo.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's a good one. It is so fascinating to get a peek behind the curtain of how he built his empire.
Yeah.
Like from the early struggles
Right.
to, the philanthropic ventures
Yeah.
and even like the behind the scenes stuff, like what happened to that chocolate river?
Oh, the chocolate river.
The chocolate river, right. So
Big questions.
big questions. We'll get to that, I promise.
Okay, good.
But let's rewind back to the beginning, right? This all started with, Jimmy MrBeast, as we know him.
Right.
Was just 11 years old when he started making videos.
Wow.
11. Talk about dedication. Right?
Yeah. I mean, what were we doing at 11?
I don't even know.
Not building YouTube empires, I'll tell you that.
Exactly. And here's the thing. He was taking all the money he was making from these early videos and just pouring it right back into making more videos.
That's smart.
And better videos.
Right.
Yeah. And that's interesting when you think about, like, the YouTube algorithm and stuff.
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to feed the beast, right? The algorithm rewards consistency and quality.
Right.
And especially back then, I mean, the landscape was so different. So to be that forward thinking
Yeah.
at 11, 12 years old, that's impressive.
It is. He even says in the interview, like, he would rather spend all of his money on his videos than, save any of it.
Wow.
Which, obviously, his mom was a little concerned about.
Understandably.
At first, yeah.
Yeah.
But, this kind of shows that all or nothing approach he has.
Right.
Which is kind of mind-blowing, right? Like, how much would that change things if you applied that to, other areas of life?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword, right?
Yeah.
Because that level of dedication, that laser focus can be incredibly powerful. But it can also be blinding.
Yeah.
Right? You have to have that balance.
Right.
To be able to, step back, reassess, and adjust.
Right. Like, I'm trying to think, if I was that focused on anything, like, would I be successful or would I just burn out? It's a tough question.
It is. And it's different for everyone.
Right.
Some people thrive under that kind of pressure.
Right.
And some people, they need a little bit more balance.
Right. And so you have this kid who's, super driven, making videos.
Yeah.
But what really sets MrBeast apart, I think, is his philanthropy.
Oh, absolutely.
It's not just about donating money. It's about creating these spectacles. Yeah. These wild events like building wells in Africa, cleaning plastic from the ocean, funding eye surgeries, like
it's incredible
stuff, right?
It's heartwarming, it's inspiring, and it's entertaining, right?
Right.
He's found a way to combine those things in a way that I think is really unique.
Yeah.
And he said it best, right? A world where I help people is just more fun.
Right.
And it's so simple.
Yeah.
But it's so profound, right? It's like, why not?
Yeah.
Why not make the world a better place and have fun doing it?
Right.
And I think that's something that we can all take away from this, right? It doesn't have to be these grand gestures.
Right.
It's about finding those little ways in our everyday lives to make a positive impact.
Yeah. And it is about that mindset shift, right?
Totally.
Like, even if it's something small, if you're looking at it as like, oh, this is going to make someone's day better.
Yeah.
It kind of makes it more fun for you, too.
Exactly. It's a win-win.
Exactly.
And, he's not just doing random acts of kindness, right?
Yeah.
He's actually integrating philanthropy into his business model.
Right.
With Feastables, his chocolate brand.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have started any kind of brand, but he chose chocolate.
Right.
And he saw this opportunity to make a real difference in the industry.
And he's trying to build an ethical cocoa supply chain.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
It is huge.
Because the chocolate industry, unfortunately,
has
a lot of issues.
A lot of issues.
With child labor and things like that.
Yeah, it's a very dark side of a seemingly sweet industry.
Right, exactly.
So to see him tackling that head on is really commendable.
It is.
And it makes you think, right?
Yeah.
Like, where does our chocolate come from?
Yeah.
And what are the implications of our choices as consumers?
Right.
It's about voting with our dollars.
Yeah, it really is.
And supporting companies that are doing things the right way.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be looking at those chocolate bar labels a little differently.
Me too. It's eye-opening for sure.
It is.
Okay.
Now, on a totally different note.
Okay.
Let's talk about Beast Games.
Oh, yeah. Beast Games.
This was mind-blowing.
Insane.
1,000 contestants,
1,000.
Competing for $5 million.
That's crazy.
That's wild.
It's like a real-life video game.
Right. And they broke multiple world records filming it.
Wow.
The logistics of this must have been a nightmare.
I can't even imagine.
Like 1,000 people.
1,000 hotel rooms.
Right. 1,000 of everything.
The food, the transportation.
Oh my gosh.
The security.
It's just, it boggles the mind.
It does. It does. And then you have the challenge design, the filming, the editing.
It's next level entertainment.
It is. It really pushes the boundary.
It really does. Like, how do you even top that?
Right. Where do we go from here?
Right. Like 2,000 people? I don't even know.
It's hard to imagine, but I'm sure he'll figure something out.
I'm sure he will.
Yeah.
And speaking of challenges, he also talks about, the challenges of fame, like how every interaction potentially could end up online.
The double-edged sword, right.
Right, yeah.
You have this incredible reach, this platform.
Yeah.
But you also have this constant scrutiny and lack of privacy.
It's like, how do you maintain any sense of normalcy when, every little thing you do could be twisted and shared and
taken out of context.
Right, exactly.
Used against you, potentially.
He was talking about, he'll wear a beanie and glasses to try to, not get recognized,
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Like, even a simple trip to the grocery store becomes this strategic operation.
Yeah.
When you're that famous.
And you wonder, is it worth it?
Right. Like, what are the trade-offs?
Yeah.
At what point does the loss of privacy and freedom outweigh the benefits?
Right.
It's a tough question.
It is. It is. And he even, admitted to being in debt at one point.
Oh, wow.
Like $200,000 in debt.
Because of the videos.
Yeah, because of his all-in approach.
That's commitment.
It is, right. Imagine having to explain that to your mom.
I can't even imagine.
Like, Mom, I'm $200,000 in debt.
Yeah, but trust me, these videos are going to pay off.
Right. Just trust me.
It's a big gamble.
It is. It is. And it obviously paid off.
Yeah, thankfully, for both of them.
But, before those videos started paying off, he spent years experimenting with different types of content, trying to figure out what worked.
It wasn't an overnight success.
Right, not at all.
There was a lot of trial and error.
Right.
A lot of learning, a lot of iteration.
And, it's interesting because it wasn't like he had some secret formula.
Right.
He just had to put in the time, the effort.
The hustle, and the willingness to learn from his mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's a valuable lesson for anyone,
Yeah.
right? Whether you're trying to build a YouTube channel or a business or anything, really.
Right. It's that persistence.
It's the persistence, the grit,
the
willingness to keep going even when things get tough.
Yeah.
And he's got that in spades.
He does. He does. He even mentioned, in one of his early videos, he counted to 100,000.
What?
Yeah.
How long did that take?
I don't even know. Days.
You must have been days. Like the patience, the dedication.
It's even boredom.
Right. And I think that speaks to, his willingness to just push boundaries and create something unique.
Totally. It wasn't just about the effort. It was about the originality of the idea.
And that originality is what kind of propelled him into the YouTube stratosphere,
Absolutely.
He became obsessed with creating viral content, studying the algorithm and just figuring out what resonated with people.
Cracking the code of human attention.
Right.
It's fascinating to see how he evolved as a creator.
Yeah.
Right? From those early kind of random challenges to really mastering the art of online entertainment.
Yeah.
And he didn't let anything get in his way.
Right.
Remember, he was determined to reinvest every penny, even if it meant going against his mom's advice, even if it meant taking on debt. He believed in his vision, and he was committed to achieving his goals.
It's inspiring, but also
a little terrifying.
No safety net.
Yeah, all in.
All in.
It's a high-risk, high-reward approach.
Right.
But it clearly worked for him.
It did.
It's amazing.
And so, that drive led him to building this massive production company.
Right.
With, hundreds of employees.
A whole team.
Yeah.
It's not a one-man show anymore.
Right. But it wasn't always smooth sailing.
Of course not.
He had to figure out how to manage a team, deal with finances, handle the pressure of this growing audience.
It's a lot to handle.
It's a lot to handle.
Especially at such a young age.
He
was basically building a business empire while most people his age were still figuring out what they wanted to do with their lives.
Right.
It's mind-blowing.
So how did he go from this one-man show to this massive operation. Well, he talks about his hiring practices in the early days.
Oh, yeah.
And let's just say they were unconventional.
Unconventional, yeah.
He was literally going to open mic nights.
What?
And even Best Buy stores looking for talent.
Best Buy.
Best Buy.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, talk about thinking outside the box.
That's wild.
It was a trial by fire, for sure.
Like he was just looking for people who were passionate and creative and willing to work hard.
Exactly.
And he found them in the most unexpected places.
It's like he was building a pirate crew.
Right.
Scouring the land for the most talented misfits.
I love that analogy.
Yeah, it's perfect.
But eventually, I think he realized maybe hiring some people with actual production experience.
Right. A little bit of structure wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, yeah.
As the complexity of his videos increased, so did the need for a more professionalized team.
Right, right.
He had to adapt his management style.
Yeah.
And build a company culture that could support his ambitious vision.
It's incredible to think he was managing all of this in his teens and early 20s.
Talk about pressure.
It's a testament to his resilience and adaptability.
Yeah.
He had to grow up fast.
Yeah.
Learning how to handle the challenges of running a business while still maintaining that creative spark that made him successful in the first place.
Right, right.
It's a delicate balance.
It is, it is.
And through it all, he never lost sight of his core values.
Right.
The hard work, the dedication, and that unwavering belief in his vision.
Yeah.
That's the foundation.
Yeah.
That allowed him to weather the storms and come out on top.
Right.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about talent or luck.
Right.
It's about having the grit and determination to keep pushing forward, even when things get tough.
So we've got the dedication, the risky business moves, the unconventional hiring. But what about the philanthropic side? Let's dive deeper into how that's woven into everything MrBeast does. Let's do it.
Yeah.
It's like his content and his giving, it all kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah, you can't really separate them.
Right.
It's all part of, like, the MrBeast brand.
Absolutely.
And I think he's finding some really cool ways to make, giving back a part of the entertainment.
Right, right.
Like, take Feastables.
Yeah.
He could have started any brand.
Right, any product.
But he picked chocolate.
Yeah.
And he saw this chance to, like, actually change things.
Yeah, and make a difference in an industry that really needs it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a great example of, like, using business as a force for good.
Totally.
And not just, like, writing checks.
Right.
But actually trying to change the system.
From the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get back to Beast Games for a minute.
Okay, yeah.
We talked about, how massive it was and
Yeah.
all the crazy challenges. But, like, what about the people?
Oh. Right, the human element.
Yeah, like 1,000 people competing for that much money.
That's got to be intense.
That's got to be an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, the pressure, the alliances, the betrayals.
Oh my gosh, the betrayals.
Yeah, it's like a real-life social experiment.
Right, and all of this is happening while they're being filmed.
Right, constantly being watched.
Like, how do you stay grounded in that environment?
Yeah, and what happens when the cameras stop rolling?
Right, right.
Do those relationships continue?
It's fascinating.
It really is.
And remember those, like, hydraulic press doors in the first challenge?
Oh, yeah, the giant ones.
They had to build 1,000 of those.
That's insane.
It's insane.
The engineering, the logistics, I mean,
oh my God.
It's mind-boggling.
And it makes you think, like, this is a whole new era of entertainment, right?
Absolutely.
These massive real-life events.
Yeah.
They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
For sure.
But, even with all this success, he doesn't shy away from, like, the downsides of fame.
Right.
He talks about how, any interaction could be twisted and shared online.
Yeah, that's the scary part.
Yeah.
You lose that anonymity, that freedom to just be yourself.
He tells the story about, like, being filmed leaving a restaurant.
Oh.
And it looks like he's not tipping.
Oh, no.
But it turns out, like, someone else had already paid for the meal.
Right, so it was completely taken out of context.
Exactly.
And it could have really damaged his reputation.
It's scary to think, like, your whole life could be reduced to these little sound bites.
Yeah, and viral moments.
Yeah.
That may not even be accurate.
And how do you control your narrative in that kind of environment?
Right, it's almost impossible.
It's a good question.
It is.
And it's not just online.
Right.
He even had people, like, following his car.
Oh, wow.
Trying to figure out where he lives.
That's intense.
Yeah, it sounds pretty intense.
It's like you're always on edge.
He said he tries to keep a low profile when he's out.
Yeah.
Like wearing a beanie and glasses.
Yeah, trying to blend in.
Yeah, but in a world where everyone has a camera phone, it's gotta be tough.
It is.
Like, to completely disappear.
Yeah.
He even had this wild experience when he went to India.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, the level of fame there was next level. He was saying, like, a video of him just arriving at the airport got millions of views in a few hours.
It's crazy how celebrity culture varies across different countries.
Right.
But it shows you the power of global fandom.
It's incredible.
It really is.
And a little overwhelming, I imagine.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so let's circle back to Feastables for a sec.
Okay.
We talked about the ethical sourcing thing.
Yeah.
But what does that actually look like?
Right. What does that mean in practice?
So the chocolate industry, you know, has a really bad reputation for child labor.
Yes, especially in West Africa.
Yeah.
It's a huge problem.
And MrBeast's working with Tony's Chocolonely.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a company that's been, like, leading the charge for ethical cocoa sourcing.
For a long time.
Yeah, so it's not just about, like, doing the bare minimum. It's about setting a new standard.
For the whole industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're actually paying farmers a fair wage, providing them with resources and support, and ensuring that kids aren't being exploited.
And he actually spent a week in Ghana.
Really?
Yeah, tracing the whole cocoa supply chain.
Wow, so he's really hands-on.
Yeah, like bean to bar.
That's impressive.
And he's using his platform, you know, to challenge other chocolate companies.
To do better.
To do better.
Yeah.
He's not afraid to call people out.
That's great.
And push for change.
It's a powerful example of how, like, consumer choices can actually make a difference.
Right.
Right? Like, we don't have to be millionaires to have an impact.
Right, exactly.
We vote with our dollars every day.
Exactly.
And by choosing to support ethical brands, we can encourage companies to be more responsible.
Okay, so we've talked about his YouTube empire.
Yeah.
His philanthropy, the challenges of fame.
Right.
But MrBeast isn't content to just, like, stay in his lane.
No, he's always pushing boundaries.
He's always branching out, exploring new ventures.
Yeah, he's got that entrepreneurial spirit.
He's got that hustle.
He's always looking for the next challenge.
He actually mentioned in an upcoming video where he's giving away a private jet.
A private jet?
A private jet. Like, how do you even...
I can't even imagine the logistics of that.
Right.
It's classic MrBeast, though.
Right.
He's always thinking big.
Yeah.
Always trying to top himself.
And he's got this, like, Google sheet with over 10,000 video ideas.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
His brain is like a content-generating machine.
He's a content machine.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
But, you know, with all that creative energy comes pressure.
Oh, yeah.
He's responsible for hundreds of employees, millions of fans, and this constant pressure to deliver.
It's a lot to handle.
It's a lot to handle.
And the scrutiny is relentless.
He talks about struggling with work-life balance.
Yeah.
Feeling like he's always on.
It's a common problem.
Yeah.
For people in high-pressure creative fields.
He even mentioned getting depressed.
Oh, wow.
When he's not working on something challenging.
Yeah, it's like his mind needs to be constantly engaged.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that success doesn't always equal happiness.
Right. Exactly.
You know, you can have all the money and fame in the world.
Yeah.
But if you're not taking care of your mental health,
it
doesn't really matter.
And he talks about, like, the importance of communication with his team and his girlfriend.
Right, having that support system.
Yeah, and learning to delegate and trust others.
Right, you can't do everything yourself.
Right.
You need to build a team you can rely on.
Yeah, and he also stresses the importance of, like, finding those moments of peace and joy outside of work.
Right.
Spending time with loved ones.
Yeah.
Pursuing hobbies.
Finding that balance.
Finding that balance, yeah.
It's so important.
And it's inspiring to see someone, you know, who's achieved so much.
Yeah.
But is still striving to grow.
To learn.
To learn.
Yeah, he's not afraid to admit his weaknesses.
Right.
His struggles.
Yeah.
The lessons he's learned along the way.
It's refreshing.
It is.
Because, you know, in a world where success is often portrayed as...
effortless.
Effortless, yeah.
And glamorous.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that it's a journey.
Right.
Not a destination.
And even with all the planning and preparation, things don't always go according to plan.
Of course not.
Remember that story he told about accidentally hiring a convicted felon?
Oh, yeah, from Best Buy.
From Best Buy.
It's a good reminder that everyone makes mistakes.
Even MrBeast.
Even MrBeast.
Yeah.
It's all part of the process.
And it sounds like he's learned a lot about building a team over the years.
Yeah.
It's not just about finding talented people.
Right.
It's about creating a culture of trust.
And accountability.
Yeah.
He's surrounded himself with people he can rely on.
Right.
It's a testament to his growth as a leader.
But at the end of the day, he's still the driving force.
Absolutely.
Behind it all.
The creative genius.
Yeah.
With the wild ideas.
Yeah.
Pushing the boundary.
Pushing the boundary.
Of online entertainment.
And he's not slowing down anytime soon.
No, not at all.
He's got Feastables, Beast Games.
Yeah.
Countless other projects in the works.
He's a machine.
It's exciting to think about what he'll achieve.
In the years to come.
Yeah.
He's still young. He's still learning.
Mm-hmm.
And he's clearly not afraid to take risks.
Okay, but before we get too carried away with all the success and ambition, we have to address the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
Or rather, the missing chocolate river.
Nice.
The mystery of the disappearing chocolate.
How could an entire river of chocolate just vanish?
It's like something out of, like, a Roald Dahl book.
It does feel a bit Willy Wonka-esque.
Right.
You have to wonder, was it just a construction error?
Yeah.
Or was there something more sinister at play?
And the winner of that chocolate factory challenge ended up taking the $500,000 prize.
Instead of keeping the factory.
Instead of keeping the factory.
Maybe they knew something we didn't.
Maybe they're like, nah, I'm good.
I don't want to curse Chocolate River.
Right.
That's suspicious.
But seriously, where did all that chocolate go?
Right.
Did someone sneak in and eat it all?
Was it transported to a chocolate-loving black market?
The possibilities are endless.
It's a mystery worthy of its own deep dives.
It really is.
We need to get to the bottom of this.
Well, on that note, we'll have to leave you hanging for now.
Oh.
But don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this disappearing chocolate river.
Okay, good.
In the final part of our MrBeast deep dive.
Can't wait.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time in the world of MrBeast.
Yeah, quite a journey.
From those early YouTube days to, global fame and fortune.
And all the chocolate rivers in between.
Right.
Literally.
Literally. But before we wrap things up, I
yeah,
have to go back to that chocolate river. Oh, yeah, we can't leave that hanging.
the mystery of the missing chocolate.
It's like, where did it go?
Right? It just vanished.
1 minute, it's there, flowing like a dream.
I know.
The next minute, poof, gone.
With all the cameras around, you'd think someone would seen something.
Right. You'd think so.
It's like the great unsolved mystery.
Of the MrBeast universe.
He did mention a hole in the lining.
Yeah, he said something about that.
But, like, it's chocolate.
Yeah.
It would have been noticeable, right?
You'd think so, yeah.
Like, where did it go?
I know. Did it seep into the ground?
Like a chocolate cave.
The chocolate cavern.
Imagine finding that.
Oh, man.
I mean, it's a pretty tempting target, right? A whole river of chocolate.
I know, I'd be diving in head first.
Right. But seriously, what happened?
It's a mystery for the ages.
Maybe it's better that way.
Right. Adds to the legend.
It's like even MrBeast, with all his resources, all his planning.
Yeah.
He can't control everything.
Sometimes things just happen. And that's kind of the beauty of it, I think.
Yeah, it's those unexpected moments.
Right, the things you can't plan for.
That make it interesting.
Yeah. Keep you on your toes.
So I guess the chocolate river is
Yeah.
a good reminder that
Life is full of surprises.
yeah,
You've got to be ready for anything.
roll with the punches.
Embrace the chaos.
And maybe, find a little humor in it all.
Absolutely. Got to find the funny side.
So we've come to the end of our MrBeast deep dive.
Wow, that went by fast.
I know.
But what a ride.
It's not just about the viral videos or the
Right.
spectacle.
It's about the bigger picture.
Yeah, it's about creativity,
Giving back.
pushing boundaries,
And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of chocolate.
little bit of chocolate, even if it disappears.
Even if it disappears.
So whether you're a content creator
An entrepreneur.
or just someone who enjoys a good mystery,
Yeah.
we hope you've learned something
Been entertained.
and maybe even been inspired.
To go out and make your own impact on the world.
Absolutely. Until next time, keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep diving deep.
See you then.